Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. And a big thank you to each and every person who is putting his efforts or our efforts in this channel to make sure that it's growing. Our target is 100,000 subscribers, and I believe nothing is impossible. We shall clock 100,000 subscribers. Back to the Kenyan politics, and I will be mixing English and Swahili so that my point can be home clear and precise. I want to teach you something today so that you understand where Kenya is moving to. My work on this platform is to educate you, is to open up your eyes, is to open up your mind so that you are able to broaden your thinking and see where Kenya is headed to. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, during Uhuru's tenure, when Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, Uhuru had a clear plan on the standard gauge railway. In his 2019 speeches, Uhuru is very clear and very categorical. He could say his vision is to see Kenya connecting Uganda via the standard gauge railway. Uhuru was very categorical that his vision, even if he is going to retire, but his vision is to actualize the Naivasha dry port so that it can increase Kenya's economy by the East African countries clearing their cargo at Naivasha. So these are the steps that Uhuru made to make sure this is actualized. Number one, Uhuru assigned South Sudan some land in Naivasha so that it can construct its dry port where it will be clearing its cargo to ease time wasted and money wasted traveling all along to Mombasa. And you know, this was to ease traders from Juba, the capital city of South Sudan. If a trader in Juba is importing his cargo, it doesn't need to travel to Mombasa to pick his cargo. It can do it at the Naivasha. So that is why Uhuru Kenyatta made a step of assigning South Sudan land to construct their port there. And you remember, Uhuru also allocated Uganda land in Naivasha so that it can also construct its port where it could easily clear the cargo instead of traveling all the way to Naivasha. This was Uhuru's plan, and he had already started actualizing it as per the strategies that were laid down when starting the standard gauge railway. And you remember, if you do your research very well, you know, South Sudan is one of the largest countries that are holding the Mombasa port. They are one of the largest countries that use Mombasa in importing their cargo. Uganda has the largest, about 80 something percent, if it's not 90 something percent, but I think it's about either 80 something percent. I'm not very actual, but it's around there, about 80% or 90 something percent, followed by South Sudan. So Uhuru was, in short, enticing South Sudan and Uganda to continue using Kenya port instead of shifting their operations to another country. That was the intention. Once they do this, Kenya will also gain economically. South Sudan, in fact, large volumes of cargo heading to Juba could pass through Mombasa. And Uhuru Kenyatta's move to give them land in Naivasha, it was one way of telling them, guys, you are doing business with us, but we care about your life. We have given you land in Naivasha. Go and construct your things there. Instead of traveling to Mombasa, you can now do it in Naivasha. Tadedos already started working. Now, Ruto came into power this year and reversed the Naivasha Port. After reversing, South Sudan that had already made plans to build their dry ports in Naivasha decided to shift them to Djibouti. South Sudan had already planned to build its dry port in Naivasha because it had already been allocated land. But when William Ruto shifted the operations without due consultation, South Sudan felt betrayed. South Sudan went into Djibouti. It bought 3 acres of land to construct their depot there. Ladies and gentlemen, according to a friend, a highest government official I spoke to in South Sudan, they were telling me this was a move to ease transportation costs and time wasted along the way to Mombasa to go and clear their cargo. Uhuru had already promised them in Naivasha, because Naivasha is a bit near than Mombasa. But then the operations in Naivasha have been taken away. So the only way left is to completely shift all their operations from Kenya to Djibouti. Imagine losing such a client as a nation. Then we have some people in government who purport to revive Kenya's economy. No, just tell me. Just tell me, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly speaking, tell me. A whole government that claims to revive our economy is losing the largest second client from Kenya. In fact, this was chasing them away. Now, after making the decision, Ruto got news. In fact, it's September, si mbali. Ni 2022 September ndio Djibouti ndio South Sudan wamenunua shamba Djibouti. So Ruto has felt threatened. Losing such clients, Ruto has felt threatened. And what he has done is sent Murkomen, Kipchumba, very fast to Naivasha. And this is what Murkomen said. I want to read for you. This is what Murkomen said. Commissioning of the rail-mounted gantry cranes at the Naivasha Inland Container Depot. As a show of our continued friendship and partnership with the People Republic of China, I traveled from the Nairobi Railway Terminal to the Naivasha Inland Container Depot today. That was yesterday. Via the Standard Gauge Railway passenger train, accompanied by the Chinese ambassador to Kenya, He Nzoupiang. Kenya appreciates the good working relationship between the two countries, whose signature is the SGR, among other infrastructure projects. During the tour, I had the pleasure of commissioning the rail-mounted gantry cranes, which I want you to listen. I want to put emphasis on this paragraph and the following paragraph. 1, during the tour, I had the pleasure of commissioning the rail-mounted gantry cranes, which will ease the loading and offloading of containers from trailers to SGR and MGR trains, and from SGR and MGR trains to the trailers. The government is keen to develop Now, sometimes I feel like laughing. Listen to this sentiment. The government is keen to develop the Naivasha Inland Container Depot to handle goods destined to various destinations in the country and region. Mulikuwa wapi wakati munatoa Naivasha Port back to Mombasa? It's now they are waking up to reality. Sikiza vile Murkomen anasema. They are very keen on growing. Hey! Sasa aibu ni yenu. Aibu ni yenu. William Ruto, aibu ni yako. Serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, aibu ni yenu. Mulitoa Naivasha Port mukapeleka Mombasa. Sasa hivi mumelazimishwa by force, by fire, at gunpoint to return it back, because the Naivasha Port was not about Uhuru Kenyatta. It was about East Africa as a region. When you thought you were punishing Uhuru Kenyatta, you were punishing the whole East African region. Sasa umetuma Murkomen, badala ya wewe kwenda kukava hiyo aibu, sasa umetuma Murkomen. Sasa ndio mnaanza kusema ati you are keen. Sasa ndio mmeanza kujificha, sasa mnasema we are keen. We are keen at developing the Naivasha Port. We are keen. Keen what? Wakati mlikuwa mnaitoa mnarudisha Mombasa, amkukuwa keen. Sasa ndio mmeanza kukua keen. Wangwana, aibu ni yenu. Kuleni mjeuri. We are also keen to utilize rail transport, which is fast, safe, and cheaper to enhance transportation of goods and people. We will also working to restore passenger trains along the old MGR routes. Further, we will be increasing the number of wagons and coaches, which, together with the old wagons and coaches that are currently being revamped at our Nairobi workshops, will increase capacity of passenger transportation. Currently, the SGR is smoothly connected to the MGR in Naivasha, thus making it easier to carry goods to Malaba. Murkomen, si wewe ndio ulituambia kwamba railway ya Naivasha inaelekea msituni. Sasa umesema it's easier to connect. Wangwana, aibu ni yenu. Aibu ni yenu. Sasa hivi unatuambia ati currently the SGR is smoothly connected to MGR in Naivasha, thus making it easier. Si ulisema inaelekea msituni? Sasa leo ndio imekuwa easier, Okay. Tutaonana. In the long run, we would like to complete the connection of the SGR from Susa to Kisumu through Bomet, Nyamira, parts of Kisii, and later to Malaba. Later, we can think of upgrading the existing MGR via Nakuru to Kisumu and via Eldoret to Malaba. We are also inviting investors to develop and run a new railway corridor from Lamu to Moyale, through Garissa, and to South Sudan through Turkana. These plans will make Kenya a very competitive country and enhance ease of doing business. Meanwhile, I have instructed the Kenya Railways to increase the number of trains to Kisumu from 21st December 2022 to 3rd January 2023 to meet the increasing demand occasioned by the festive season and ease pressure on our roads. Finally, I want to say this. Kakasungura, I stood in this very, very platform and told the president, the same way you've picked the Naivasha Port, you've taken it back to Mombasa, is the same way you will pick it from Mombasa and shame, with a lot of shame, return it to Naivasha. It is happening, it has happened, and I can stamp my authority as a man who speaks reality and not in windows. I can stamp authority. Those who follow me, you listened to me advising the president. The very day he moved the SGR, the very day he moved the operations from Naivasha back to Mombasa, I stood on this platform wala munanifuata. I advised the president. But with all due respect, ili kuepuka aibu mbeleni, tafadhali rais, wachaneni Naivasha Port ikae pale. Hawakunisikiza. Now they have been forced to eat their humble pie, kneel down and sneak the operations from Mombasa again back to Naivasha. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a government. We are going forward, tukienda backward. Tunaenda backward, tukienda forward. By the time this economy grows, it's history. God bless you. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana.